What if everything you thought you knew about love, trust, and connection was a deception that was deliberately planned? What if the person you trust the most was slowly and on purpose tearing down your sense of self, leaving you stranded in a maze of fear and doubt? This isn't just a lousy marriage. It's the sneaky truth of emotional abuse. It's a fight that happens in the quiet corners of the mind. We typically look for evidence of suffering on the outside, yet the worst wounds are often concealed, carved into the psyche. Emotional abuse doesn't leave marks on the body, but it does break spirits and change how things are. It's not a sudden strike. It's a gradual poison. It works in separate stages, each one meant to take away your identity bit by bit in a painful way. And while every stage is bad, one is the worst, the most dangerous, and the point of no return for many. Today we're going to talk about the 5 stages of emotional abuse and why the 4th stage is the most deadly. Understanding it could be the key to your survival. This isn't simply theory. It's a guide on recognizing and getting out of a mental prison. Stage 1 is the seduction, the false sense of perfection. This is where the trap is set with great care, almost like art. It doesn't start with insults or insults. It starts with a charm offensive that is so strong and overwhelming that it seems like a dream come true. At this point, the abuser is the perfect spouse, friend, or family member for you. They pay attention to you, are charming, and seem to be enamored with you. They pay close attention to your deepest concerns and wants, not to understand you, but to get information. They shower you with praise, presents, and vows of deep love. You feel special, seen, and completely loved. If someone looks to complete you, who wouldn't want to be with them? They reflect your hobbies, support your ideas, and make you feel like the most important person in their life. This isn't real connection. It's planned mirroring. They are watching you, figuring out what makes you weak, figuring out what you need emotionally, and then offering themselves as the perfect way to meet those needs. They quietly cut you off from others, maybe by taking up all your time, or softly criticizing your previous connections, to make you think they are the only ones who really get you. They might say things like, "No one understands you like I do," or "Your friends just don't see how special you are." The goal of this stage is to create a link of trust and dependence that can't be broken, so you believe that this person is your safe haven and your everything. This is the honeymoon stage, but it's a honeymoon that won't last long. You're falling in love with a well-built facade, a mask that will eventually slide off to show something much worse. The more you fall, the tougher it will be to get back up. Stage 2 is the depreciation, when the cracks start to show. The mask starts to crack slowly, nearly without anyone noticing. The love starts to turn into hate. The compliments are replaced by small jabs that are hidden as jokes or helpful comments. They can say, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overreacting." They don't use a sledgehammer to break down your self-esteem. They use a small, unending chisel. They'll make fun of your looks, your intelligence, your opinions, your friends, your family, and anything else that makes you who you are. The purpose is to make you doubt your own worth and lower your self-esteem. What used to be charming now seems bossy. Their worry for you turns into a demand for your time and attention. They could tell you that your sentiments are wrong, try to convince you that you're imagining things, or make you feel like you're crazy. You have to be very careful with them, since you never know how they'll feel. You say you're sorry for something you didn't do merely to keep the peace. This stage is hard to understand because the abuser will often mix criticism with moments of kindness, just enough to keep you hooked and make you think that the good person is still there but temporarily lost. This is the push and pull, the occasional reward, that makes an addiction very strong. You're desperate to get back to the person from stage 1, the one who loved you, and you think that if you just try harder and change enough, they'll come back. But they won't. They are making things crazy on purpose to keep you off balance. This is when you start to question your own recollections, your own reality, and even your own sanity. The 3rd stage is the control, the chains you can't see. The abuser tightens their hold as your self-esteem falls apart. This stage is marked by obvious control, even if it is still hidden behind affection or care. They tell you what to do, who to see, where to go, what to wear, how to spend your money, and even what to think or feel. They cut off your support systems, friends, family, and hobbies, which makes you feel even more alone. They could listen in on your calls, read your texts, or follow you about. They become the only people who can access your information and keep you emotionally healthy. This is when financial abuse frequently starts, with them restricting how much money you can get, or making you dependent on them for money. They could ruin your job, your school, or your chances, making sure you can't get away. The continual criticism and devaluation of stage 2 gets worse and worse, becoming more blatant and unending. They might actively work against your plans, make fun of your successes, or embarrass you in front of others. You feel that people are always watching you, judging you, and finding you lacking. They have made a universe where they are the most important people, and you are merely there to meet their wants. Your sense of who you are starts to erode. You are no longer your own person. You are an extension of their will. You are chained up in a way that you can't see, and the weight of them is too much to bear. Your own voice's quiet becomes deafening. Stage 4 is when the soul falls apart and loses hope. This is the bottom of the pit, the very bottom. If the first steps were about chipping away at your self-esteem, this one is about fully destroying it. The abuser doesn't bother with covert insults or hidden comments anymore. They throw a lot of obvious insults, public humiliation, and mental pain at you. They work hard to shatter your spirit and make you feel that you are useless, unloved, and completely alone. This is when the gaslighting gets really bad. They rewrite your history, deny everything you've been through, and make you doubt your own sanity so much that you start to believe their twisted version of reality. They may try to ruin your reputation by lying about you to your friends, family, or co-workers, which will cut you off from everyone. They could threaten you, verbally attack you in shocking and harsh ways, or even do small things to sabotage you to make you even more unstable. Your feelings are used against you. You are weak if you cry. You're crazy if you get mad. They might threaten to hurt themselves, hurt your loved ones, or destroy your things if you try to leave. Hope begins to fade. You don't have to walk on eggshells anymore. You are living in a dangerous place. You feel absolutely powerless, like you've lost your identity, your dignity, and your desire to fight. What makes this stage the most dangerous? At this stage, victims typically feel so crushed, trapped, and worthless that they think they can't go away. The ongoing mental agony can cause PTSD, severe depression, and anxiety disorders. Your mind, which used to be a safe place, is now a prison. You start to believe what others say about you, even though it's not true. You think you deserve this, that no one else will ever want you, and that there is no way out. This is where the silent pain turns into a scream that no one else can hear. This is where lives are not only ruined but also destroyed from the inside. The spirit dies, and the fight leaves your bones. Stage 5 is the cycle, the false sense of hope, and the same things happening over and over. After the terrible decline of stage 4, things frequently seem peaceful when they aren't. This is the hoovering stage, when the abuser pulls you back in because they know you're completely broken, or because you tried to get away. They might suddenly go back to the charm of stage 1, showering you with apologies, pledges to change, and declarations of love. They might even say that stress, past trauma, or things outside of their control are to blame for their actions, which will make you feel terrible for them. This makes the cycle very hard to break. You hold on to these moments of regret and hope because you want the person you fell in love with to come back. You tell yourself, see, they do love me. They just have a lot going on. But this break is always short-lived. It's a smart strategy to get back in charge and stop you from leaving. Once they've had you back in their grasp and shown you how much power they have over you, the cycle will start again. The devaluation, control, and degradation will start again, and this time they will happen more regularly and with more force. Every cycle takes a little more of your spirit away, making it harder and harder to get away. The hope they give you is a terrible illusion meant to keep you stuck in their problems. It's a vicious cycle in which the little moments of affection are just enough to keep the hope alive that things might get better, even though they are getting worse all the time. That's why it's so hard to break free. You're not just battling against something outside of you. You're also fighting against the firmly held hope that keeps you stuck. The first and most important step to getting free is to understand these stages. If you see yourself or someone you care about in any of these stages, please know that you are not alone, and that it is not your fault. There is aid, there is hope, and there is a path out. Your narrative doesn't have to finish in sadness. To get your life back on track, you need to first accept the truth about your position and ask for help. The chains you can't see are the toughest to see, but you can break them. Please give this video a thumbs up if it spoke to you, or helped you understand something you've been through or seen. Your likes help us reach more people who might be hurting and need this information. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for additional information that will help you and teach you. Which stage did you like the most, and why? Leave a comment below to share your ideas. Your experience could help someone else in a big way. If you haven't seen my last video, 5 questions liars always ask, I highly encourage you do so before you leave. It's another useful technique for figuring out whether someone is lying. Thanks for watching.